What's up? Hope you guys have been well. So today we're going to talk about the various income streams you can make in not only Axie Infinity, but other future blockchain games. So before we get into all of that, let's just know that this is all speculation. Don't invest more than what you can lose. Assume that you will lose everything, as this blockchain gaming industry is very new and this is super high risk and you won't get rich quick. So don't quit your job and just immediately go doing all this. This is very high risk. So let's get into it. So why learn about these various income streams? It's to diversify your income sources to minimize your risk, right? So if you're only an Axie scholar, you are at the mercy of many things, such as maybe the economy gets broken down in the future, maybe there's a bunch of game bugs, the server gets shut down for maintenance, and etc. So if you learn how to diversify your income sources, you'll be able to mitigate your risk. And the second is to increase your earnings through various methods and to go eventually into passive income sources. So when you're constantly grinding, for example, as an Axie scholar or a CryptoBlades person where you're constantly monster grinding, you're limited by time. So you're trading your time for money, but eventually you want to minimize that and to eventually have other people or the sources work for your money. And thirdly, if you're able to identify what you're really good at and you do that thing, you'll be able to make more money doing the things that you love. All right, so let's get into them. So the first one is the grinder, right? So the person that does repetitive tasks that gives decent income, so several hundreds per month for maybe like several hours per day for that thing. So this is a solid way for someone to start out, maybe from someone who's in a less fortunate country, and this is like a great opportunity for them. So for example, you can apply to be an Axie scholar. However, this is the least amount of income as you're trading your time for money, and due to so many people applying, you don't make that much as people are willing to work for less. And the second source is being a manager. So you help manage a bunch of grinders. So this will give you more income, right? So maybe instead of hundreds per month, it's now thousands per month in US dollars. However, there's more startup risk in this, as you need to deploy your own capital to hire some other scholars. So even though you could earn more, you also are taking that bigger risk by hiring these multiple grinders, okay? So it's still solid, it's higher income, however, it's still not passive, you're still having to actively manage your scholars. Then the third one would be organization, so someone who manages managers. So this has more earning potential, as you are managing these managers who are managing the scholars, so maybe you can make up to tens of thousands per month. However, this is even more risky than being a manager, as you'll need the greatest capital to invest not only in the scholars but also hiring the managers too. And this probably takes up quite a bit of time and energy. However, in terms of a high income skill that you need to trade time for, this is pretty up there. The fourth one would be like an arbitrage trader. So you take advantages of big differences in price action of a coin. So this is really relevant, as a lot of these crypto coins tend to be lower market cap compared to something like an Ethereum or Bitcoin. So for example, let's say an ape swap skill token from CryptoBlades is sold around $45, while maybe at a certain point of time, Pancake Swap is around $50. So what you could do, you buy skill on ape swap and you sell for Pancake Swap for a 10% gain, and then you repeat this process with other coins. So you could create different software to create different price alerts for when a certain exchange reaches a certain price point, and you compare them, and then you make profit on those differences. And the fifth method is called being a swing trader. So you play the different movements and price action of the token. So this is very powerful when you're combining it with a high income skill, right? So you allocate parts of your money to do these swing trades, and you trade maybe a couple times every few weeks at very certain opportunities. For example, maybe Axie Infinity drops by 24%, and then within 1 to 2 weeks later, it increases by 24%, and you sell that, then you make a 20 to 40% profit. So this is a very awesome passive-ish skill to have, as you can just play with the market's medium swing cycles. The sixth method is through liquidity pools and staking. So this is an awesome passive method, as you're able to provide liquidity. So for example, if you have 10 Axie tokens, you could give that to a pool where people borrow your Axie Infinity tokens, and then they trade with that, and then they have to pay for that. So some examples include SOP/WETH on Uniswap for 100% APY, Skilled BNB on PancakeSwap 200% APY, Seedify Fund, Luvium Ethereum, etc. So this is one of the more truly passive income sources. However, this is also pretty risky too, as crypto gaming is very new. The seventh method would be a long-term portfolio. So this is probably the safest one, where you're buying dips on assets that are part of maybe the larger gaming ecosystem, or on games that you personally think will last a very long time. So maybe at least 5 years out, or at the earliest you're selling it for 1 year out for these long-term investments. For example, investing in the Ethereum ecosystem, the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem, Axie's Luvium, these bigger games that have a lot of funding behind them, maybe the Luna Terra ecosystem, the Matic Polygon system, etc. And the eighth method would be content creation. So if you like creating content, you like being creative, you can do these like YouTube, Medium, Twitter, whichever method you prefer, maybe podcasts too. So just creating educational entertainment content that people like. So this could lead to other things such as ad revenue like AdSense, sponsorships, earlier access to initial coin offerings, people giving you access to their tools and coins, free subscriptions, referral contests where you get a prize like an NFT or $50 or something if you refer to most people, which you can use your followers to do that too. So you can notice that a lot of these tie in together, right? So you create content, you make money off of that, and then you make money off of AdSense revenue. You put it back to swing trading. Maybe someone gives you early access to their ICO, you get NFTs, you flip that, etc. So having a wide variety of these things tie in together, in which they will amplify your other income sources, creating a really awesome positive feedback loop. So the ninth one would be airdrops of free NFTs. So these are usually given to people who are early to the game in exchange for marketing. So for example, you can keep track of upcoming games through Twitter, YouTube, and other gaming websites. Then you do these things. Then maybe to become big in the future, then you sell those NFTs for lots, and then you repeat the process. So for example, Defina and Step Hero has referral contests and marketing missions in which you can get some NFTs right now. Then the 10th one would be actually helping develop a game, right? So developers, graphic designers, community managers, marketers, etc. So this takes the most amount of work and has a huge risk, as maybe no one will play it. However, if you do pull it off, and it will pay huge dividends in the future. So this takes a certain set of skills, but if you do have them and you're willing to put in the work, then that could be a great opportunity. So here are some examples of some potential paths you could take, right? So if you're going that grinder route where you become an Axie scholar in the beginning, and then you take half of your money, you pay for necessary fees, then you take most of it, you put it towards buying your own Axie team, then 10% towards long-term trades, then maybe half a year later you buy your own Axie team. Then since you're making twice as much money, assuming there's like a 50-50 split before, then you put 25% towards necessary fees, then a lot more towards creating your own Axie scholar team to hire someone else. Then you get into swing trading, you get into longer term portfolio. So maybe you get to swing trader because you're keeping track of the price of the token, so now you know how it works better. Then 4 months later, you continuously build up your Axie scholars and then become a manager, etc. Then maybe a manager route where you don't want to grind, but you hire Axie scholars in the beginning. Then you just keep on creating more Axie scholars, more and more. Then eventually, maybe you focus on hiring Axie scholar managers who will manage that scholars for you, and then you repeat the process, and then you keep building up managers for the managers, etc. Then you diversify your income sources with the liquidity staking pools, swing tradings, and as always, building up that long-term portfolio. So appreciate you guys for watching. Feel free to leave a like, comment what's your favorite income sources or what other opportunities you see in the market, what other videos you want to see, and subscribe if you want. And different ways to support the channel include donating to the address right here. So BNB preferred, you can donate whatever. So $5 early access to the guide, $10 for early access and a video summary if you wanted to skip all of that, $20 for other benefits, the past benefits plus other trading opportunities. And if you do that, email here with your address of how much you donated. Feel free to check out my Twitter for faster updates, Discord, and other brokers I personally use. Binance for swing trading, Coinbase for initially putting in fiat money, Webull for stocks, M1 for long-term IRA, TradingView for my favorites, charting software, and most importantly, this is all for entertainment purposes. I'm not a licensed professional, and the best investments are the ones where you do your own research and you have the best conviction in, as crypto is all just about survival. If you pick some projects with great fundamentals and you have the conviction to stay with them, you will make gains on the long run. So hope you have an awesome day and talk to y'all next time.